Opsta. He's people.
I'm always ready for the Opster, and he is. I'm obsessed with this Adam Carolla, Jimmy Kimmel thing now. So we talked about this. Cumia mentioned, shout out to Anthony Cumia, big fan of the show, and likewise, Anthony. But Anthony talked about our breakdown of Opie telling this story about how he met Jimmy Kimmel. He was on set at Jimmy Kimmel Live, and Jimmy Kimmel, as a loyal Howard Stern guy, went up to him and goes, "What are you doing here?" Just pissed that Opie was even dared show his face in Jimmy Kimmel's presence. And then we played a clip from many years ago of Opie telling this story about Adam Carolla when his agent brought him to the set of Love Lines with Dr. Drew. And Adam Carolla, as a loyal Howard Stern guy, went up to Opie and said, "What are you doing here?" And I thought, boy, that's odd that both hosts of the Man Show had the exact same interaction. I am now obsessed with this, and I need Opie to realize that he's telling the same story. Like, this is a weird gymnastics that he's doing. I don't know the best way to go about it. So this guy, Rick, messaged me on Instagram, and he tried. He tried his best. Because a few days after Opie told that Jimmy Kimmel story, Rick goes, "Hey, can you tell the Carolla story?" And Opie, without flinching, tells the exact same story about Adam Carolla that he told about Jimmy Kimmel. This is nuts.
Was in Kimmel or Carolla your West Coast story? Was it Kimmel or Carolla your West Coast story?
So this man is at what he's asking is, hey, that story you told about Kimmel, are you sure? Is it him or Carolla? And Opie doesn't pick up on this at all. He just launches into the same story.
From New York. Oh my God, going for the old stuff right away. Well, hold on. I gotta get Ron the waiter on right away. He's a big star. Ron can't wait. He's a big star now.
That's true.
Hi, Ron.
Okay.
What's going on?
Well, I gotta quickly tell my Adam Carolla story for the 100th time.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so he sets it up with Ron the waiter. They have some magic chemistry. I apologize for skipping ahead and not hearing what Ron has to say about this. But let's have Opie tell you about his incident with Adam Carolla. And I gotta say, his story is the same as it was 20 years ago.
And he brought me to a taping of, I think it was Love Lines with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew, because my agent also represented either both those guys or one of those guys. And
was that on MTV?
Who?
Was that show on MTV?
Who gives a fuck?
I mean, it was nationally syndicated.
Who gives a fuck? Why is that? First of all, Opie doesn't know what he's talking about. Yes, it was on MTV. And, but Ron, was that on MTV? Wait till the story's over, Ron. You nuisance. Who gives a shit? I just want to hear Opie contradict himself.
Version on the MTV, but so I sat.
Yeah, there was a version on MTV.
This room, and in front of me, you could see the studio, and you could see Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew doing their Love Lines, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I wouldn't mind meeting those guys, considering you represent those guys as well as me. And then there was a break in the action, and Adam Carolla famously looked at me. These were the only words he ever uttered towards me. He said, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
I've heard that story before.
I remember the story. And by the way, Opie goes into, he's like, Adam Carolla was on my show later, and he goes, I forget how we squashed the beef. I went back and listened. Adam Carolla was on, I believe, March of 2015. If you're looking for the episode of Opie and Jim Norton, Jim Florentine and Dan Soder were also on the episode. It's about 2 hours in. And this is how the beef was squashed. Opie doesn't mention it. It never comes up. So Opie's like, oh yeah, I confronted him on it years later. Like that, it just never happened. Probably because Opie knows it was an insane, made-up story. But I question that because we have the Kimmel clip from later in the show, right?
Yes, we did.
So someone's like, no, but you told the same story. They're trying to get my message across to him. Thank you, folks, for whoever is trying to get that. Get him to tell both Kimmel and Carolla stories back to back and see if he realizes the similarities, because it's crazy. Because this is someone bringing up Kimmel's name again later in the show and going, no, but remember you said about Jimmy Kimmel, and this is Opie's recollection of it.
Towards me. He said, "What are you doing here?"
Really?
Yeah, he did. And then he went outside, I believe, to have a smoke during a commercial break.
Oh, this is him still talking about Carolla. Let me hear the
end of
Kimmel
it.
one.
Yes, here it is.
So I felt like I had to defend Kimmel, but I'm not a fan of the guy. I saw it was good, and then I went right back to not watching. But
You know what? We should go to one of the shows in Brooklyn and roast him like the way he used to do back in the day.
Another
like,
guy
why
said
should
to
you do
me
that?
the last
Shut
time
up.
I ever saw him, "What are you doing here?"
Wait, that's not. He just
Have you ever met Jimmy Kimmel?
Wait,
what?
yeah, yes, Ron, he has. He just told you a story of meeting him. You jackass. So Opie in Opie's mind, he goes, "Oh yeah, that's another guy that went up to me and goes, 'What are you doing?'" And he even does the Adam Carolla voice.
It's the same voice.
What are you doing here? In his mind, and somehow this isn't crazy to him, both hosts of The Man Show, who are linked together forever, public friends, totally separately, on the sets of their own shows that you were brought to by your agent, they each went up to you and out of loyalty to Howard Stern went, "What are you doing here?" It's crazy. He doesn't see that it has to be one or the other. He's mixed the two up, or it never happened. So, there's something there. Now I am obsessed with it.
Next one up is beefs. He's got some beefs.
Oh, this man has plenty of beefs, and he's talking about all the people that have betrayed him over the years, and Opie reflects on that. And we've seen a lot of guys do some reflecting and soul searching. Well, add Opie to the list because he looks at all the people that have abandoned him, and he has some really profound thoughts on it.
Wait a minute. I guess you have a beef with a lot of people. You have a beef with this guy too?
I guess.
No, but like, why did he like?
I'm starting.
Why did he blow you off?
I'm starting to learn that I get under people's skin very easily.
So what did you do to Adam Carolla for him to treat you like that?
Oh, absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Oh,
No,
Hold on, that's a great. So absolutely nothing would imply that maybe you've never even interacted before. So Adam Carolla, based on nothing, went up to you and went, "What are you doing here? What are you doing here?" You don't ever once think, like, why did he do that? It was just absolutely nothing. It's just pure, they're evil, and Opie did nothing wrong. And boy, is that a lovely way to go through life. As someone who is incredibly self-conscious and goes over the excruciating minutia of every interaction I've had and thinks, oh, did this person like me? Were they pretending to be nice to me? Whatever. As someone who thinks about that stuff, it must be so blissful to not have 1 ounce of that and just never think, what did I do wrong in this situation? It is beautiful that Opie lives that way. I admire it.
nothing. I have no problems with Adam Carolla. I don't even know the guy. I literally don't know the guy. So that's, he might have been having a bad day. Maybe he had other things he was thinking about. I have no idea. He probably has his version of that. Oh, I did tell him to his face. He did come on the show once, I think.
Didn't happen.
We kind of had a good laugh about it. It was a nothing burger in the end.
oh, all right. And that's
It didn't happen. I mean, unless it happened off air, this just didn't happen. I listened to the entire interview. And Adam Carolla comes on. He starts promoting his book. They're telling stories about Soder's mom for a while. Like, it just didn't happen that Opie confronted him on this. I wonder if there is like a touch of some mental disorder with Opie that because it seems like he believes these things. It doesn't seem like a lot. Like a lot of these guys are liars. Like I think Stuttering John is deliberately lying about certain things. Same with Aaron Imholt. Opie, it feels different. It feels like he believes what he's saying, which is crazy.
I think you're right.
He did come on after that, and I was able to talk to him about it. I don't remember what his reasoning was at the time. So
He didn't give
It's just a weird thing to say to somebody that you don't know. What are you doing here?
Well, radio guys in general, very jealous of other radio.
makes no sense.
Yeah, well, that is true, Opie, and perhaps your jealousy of Howard Stern made you believe that everyone that had ever been on that show was out to get you, like Kimmel and Carolla.
All right, now I guess Theo talks about.
Oh yeah, so we talked about Theo already. He was in the news, obviously, this week, and Theo's one of these guys that has abandoned the Opester. But Opie had a relationship with Theo, and much like Brendan Schaub, Opie rushes as fast as he can to involve himself in this controversy that he literally knows nothing about.
But Theo Von also was basically saying that he has suicidal thoughts.
No.
There's another thing where he's on stage and he's talking about this.
Yes, he denied. He gave a pretty logical explanation of what was going on.
Opie's like, yep, this guy, he's about to off himself. He's a little cuckoo, and, I think he's a goner, quite frankly.
988, people, if you're having any issues out there.
Mm-hmm.
And the audience doesn't know if he's being facetious or not. Like, hey, is this guy?
No, he's being as real as it gets, man.
Yeah.
I know Theo Von enough to know if he was talking about that in public, he might have knew that the whole Netflix thing was just a disaster, and then you start reaching for shit because you still feel like you got to entertain the people in front of you. So I bet you he was like, "Oh fuck, this is going really bad," and I do have suicide, so maybe I'll bring it up here.
I have suicide.
I have suicide.
I have suicide. I do too, Ope. It's just so funny to me, like when a channel like, say, Podcast Cringe, who speculates on a lot of these guys, or me, or whoever, like when people like us speculate rampantly, I don't think you should necessarily do that. But like when people do it, so what? It's not they don't really know, but they're just guessing. They're putting themselves in that position, whatever. Opie knows Theo Von. Brendan Schaub knows Theo Von. It must be so shitty for Theo to be in a position where these people that know him are like, let me speak for Theo. And it's just something that's so far off of how Theo would have represented the situation. It is very funny.
Well, we can't trust Opester, but now he's going to get in a fight with Artie Lange. What the fuck?
This was weird. So this Ron the waiter is just a useless co-host. And for some reason they talk about like serious issues together. But you can tell Ron like thinks of Opie as a celebrity and wants insight into the world that Opie once lived in. And so he asks him about so Artie Lange's name comes up here, and Opie gives like kind of a weird answer to this. Casey, let me first say this.
Yeah.
How do you know Artie Lange, Casey?
I know him primarily only from the Stern Show. I knew he was on Mad TV before that, but yeah.
That's really weird. You don't know him just because he was on with Opie?
He was on with Opie?
Boy, that's straight. You're in the minority because Opie's going to tell us the reason we all know Artie Lange here. It was really interesting to me.
Stop it. He doesn't say it.
I want to say this first.
Sure.
You had a relationship with Artie Lange? Like he used to do your show?
Sure.
What do you mean sure? Like are you friendly with him still? Like
no, but there's no issues with Artie Lange, but he's another guy. Dude, what happened to me is simple. I sat in a seat that wielded a lot of power. You came on Opie and Anthony, you were selling out places. I know it's hard to believe as I do a show now from my windowsill, but we had a lot of power. We made a lot of comedians, and they made a lot of money. And I just assumed that
I just
some
want
of
to be
these
very
guys
clear
would
here. The question was, do you still have a relationship with Artie Lange? Opie said no, and here's why, and launched into this rant. I can't imagine he's taking credit for Artie Lange's career. I think he was on with Opie and Jim once, maybe. After Anthony got fired. I remember he was in that studio. I know he was on with Jim and Sam, but I think he might have been in with Opie at least once. The idea that Opie is saying that he did a lot for Artie Lange and Artie forgot who he was, which, by the way, is so insane because Artie's not doing anything right now. He's basically in hiding. Mm-hmm. This is such a weird answer to the question, do you have a relationship with Artie Lange? Go back a little bit because I want to hear Opie dig himself deeper into this hole where he's taking credit for Artie's career.
I sat in a seat that wielded a lot of power. You came on Opie and Anthony, you know, you were selling out places. I know it's hard to believe as I do a show now from my windowsill, but we had a lot of power. You know, we made a lot of comedians and they made a lot of money. And I just assumed that some of these guys would have remembered that when I had the big drop-a-roo in my career. And I thought, some of these guys will probably remember that they were nobodies and they became regulars on our show and became no joke millionaires.
Artie did not go on Opie and Anthony ever. He couldn't. He was working at the same time. Like, I don't know what he's doing. The question was, do you have a relationship with Artie Lange? And Opie goes, he's another one of these guys. I had a big seat, and and now I don't, and they all forgot that they were once loyal to me and that I gave them a career. He's saying that about Artie Lange. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. The only connection that Artie has to Opie is they got in a fight in the hallway once. I remember Opie coming back and going like, oh, me and Artie just got into it. There was like a big fight in the hallway. And Opie yelled and screamed at Artie, and they each talked about it on their respective shows. Then Artie did Opie and Jim, like I said, I think once. And then Artie co-hosted a show with Anthony briefly. That's like their connection. Opie did not give Artie a career in any way. Like, it doesn't make any sense that he's going on this rant. This is really crazy. That the question was, do you have a relationship with Artie Lange? And he's like, he's another one of these guys that don't thank me for having a career.
Mike, I'm going to give you a quote. I've got this thing, and it's fucking golden, and I'm not just going to give it up for fucking nothing. Was that Opie or disgraced Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich? Because that was Blagojevich, but it sounds like Opie.
What the fuck was that?
He says, didn't you hear what he said? I have this thing. It's real valuable. He's
yes. I did.
He's the unentertaining thing on the show.
The way you said that, it wasn't a perfect setup. So it confused me a little. But go back.
Nerdy.
Maybe I'll hear his Blagojevich quote. Who could forget that Rob Blagojevich quote?
Yeah.
I remember that when I had the big drop-a-roo in my career, and I thought, some of these guys will probably remember that they were nobodies. And they became regulars on our show and became no joke millionaires. And the problem is, as soon as you lose that big seat, and I'm a dumb guy because I had no idea. When you lose that big seat, they all go bye-bye, Ron. They all go bye-bye.
I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
They go bye-bye. They go start shows with Anthony. I think that's what
he thinks Artie Lange owes him something. I don't know what the fuck that was. That was like really crazy. Like where you're like, oh, you know, I think Nana has dementia. Like we need to put her in a like this is possibly, like this is chilling, you know? Like
I think he was using Artie Lange as like a comedian, but not specifically Artie Lange. He's like, I've done this for all sorts of comedians.
Well, it's a terrible example.
It is the worst possible.
He's literally the one guy who not only didn't do Opie and Anthony, he was on their biggest competitor.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck he's talking. Why would Artie owe you anything?
I mean, it's almost like he said, I made J.D. Harmeyer. What? He did. It's the same.
And by the way,
thing, you know?
if he said this about Rich Voss, I think it's a bit of a reach. Where it's like Opie and Anthony definitely gave Rich Voss a lot in his career. Like a lot of Rich Voss's fans, you could even say most or all of Rich Voss's fans are from the Opie and Anthony show, and he owes them a lot for that. What Voss did in return is give them a lot of funny content and let them rip them apart and all of that. Like that's the exchange. The exchange is done. Rich Voss doesn't now owe you monetary. Now, if Rich Voss backstabbed Opie and Anthony or something, I would say that's pretty shitty. But like, no, they just had a falling out because Opie's a piece of shit. You know, there's no one that owes Opie something that is so great that can overcome him being an asshole to them and difficult to work with. So like, no, when you don't have that seat, people aren't like, all right, at least Anthony and Jim are in there. You know, it is more difficult to overcome when you are a solo asshole. But that thing about Artie Lange, that was crazy to me that he lumped him into that group. I was like, what is happening? It was scary.
I don't know, Mike. You don't remember when Opie named Gary Baba Booey? That was a hilarious show.
Yes.
We got some.
Yes,
super
I
chat-
loved Jackie the Joke Man and all his many appearances on the Opie and Anthony show.
Go to blindmike.net for everything Blind Mike. Look at me. I did it. Kragers did it.